Middle Eastern fragrance manufacturers keep coming up with new cologne fragrances, so I have to keep up making these videos. So, in today's video I'm going to show you 10 new cologne fragrances out of the Middle East. Now, in today's video I'm going to show you a lot of new fragrances from a lot of different brands. In today's video I'm going to show you scents from the brands of Rayhaan, French Avenue, Maison, Asrar, Gulf Orchid, Riiffs, Nusuk, Khadlaj and Arabiyat Prestige as well, so a lot of brands will be represented in today's video. And I'm going to start with a scent from the brand of Rahan, something that the scent itself I've always found fascinating, and I've always loved this scent since the first time that I laid my nose on it all those years ago, about 10 years ago, if not more. The fragrance that I'm about to talk is called Nocturno, and it looks like this. Now, I blind bought this one without knowing how this will smell when I received the bottle before opening it up. I searched it on Fragrantica and I saw that people compared this scent with Bleu de Chanel. And I think that's down to, first of all, the bottle design, because Rayhaan fragrances have always had this pretty similar bottle design to Chanel ones, and also because of the color combination on the scent, is dark blues and almost black colored, colors combined together. And this, in a way, as a bottle, as a look, makes sense that this will smell like Bleu de Chanel. But as soon as I sprayed it, I knew that this has nothing to do with Bleu de Chanel, apart from the fact that this is a bluish type of scent, but that's pretty much it. This in fact smells a lot like Dior Sauvage EDT, the original Dior Sauvage, maybe in a way Dior Sauvage EDP as well. It's not an exact clone of neither the Sauvage EDT or Sauvage EDP, because this smells a lot like both of them, but also has its slight own vibe, let's say, or twist. You still get some of the spiciness, you still get some of that ambery sweetness, the woods, the ambrox, and all those things that made the original Dior Sauvage so popular. But in here, what Rayhaan have done is that, like, they've added a bit of a barbershoppy vibe to the scent, making it a little bit more aromatic, a little bit more creamy. And if I have to try to explain it in the best way possible that I can, this smells like a shaving foam scented as Dior Sauvage. That's basically the way that this smells. So you're getting Dior Sauvage, but with a barbershoppy vibe. It smells nice, it smells crowd pleasing, people will compliment you. I was wearing this yesterday at night, and I received a compliment about wearing this fragrance, so it's a very likable scent to this day. The quality is nice, as you saw, it has a pressurized sprayer. The performance is good without being anything special, but it's also pretty inexpensive. So this is the first one that I've included in today's video. The next one comes from the brand of Gulf Orchid, and it's called Exotic Oud. Now, this is a fragrance that I've just recently started testing, like a couple of days ago. This one smells a lot like Oud Maracuja from Maison Crivelli. It's not an exact clone, and one thing I've noticed with a lot of the Oud Maracuja clones is that most of them feel like heavy twists on the original scent, being more floral and whatnot. And the only real two Middle Eastern clones of Oud Maracuja that I think get close to the original scent are from French Avenue, Azure Oud, and from Fragrance World, Oud Madness. Those two get very close to the original scent. This is probably the next one in line when it comes to how close it feels out of all the clones of Oud Maracuja that I've tried. So it's floral, it's fruity, there's the agar oud note, there's the leather note, there's some ambery sweetness, this feeling a little bit more fruity than Oud Maracuja, and feeling a little bit less leathery than Oud Maracuja, but smells pretty similar to the original one. In a way, this reminds me also of stuff like Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomade. So if you're into that type of scents, Middle Eastern feeling, like Oriental feeling, oud, leather, rose, amber combo of notes, then this Exotic Oud from Gulf Orchid should be right up your alley. So far seems to have good quality and pretty strong performance. The next one that I've included in this list comes from a sister brand of Gulf Orchid, which is called Maison Asrar, a brand that actually right now I've been testing more and more scents from, and in the next few weeks I'm going to talk about a lot of scents from Maison Asrar. This one in particular is called Muharib, this is received quite a bit of hype. This is a clone of Xerjoff's Naxos, and it's one of the best clones of Naxos that you can currently get, period. This smells of tobacco, of lavender, some citruses, some honey sweetness, and a bit of spices. But this feels a little bit darker, a little bit less citrusy in the opening, a little bit less aromatic than Naxos. This feels like having a stronger tobacco note, like having more of a ambery sweetness rather than the honey and vanillic sweetness that you'll find in Naxos itself. But in the air, this smells super close to Naxos, carries really nice quality, strong performance, and comes really nicely packaged. Has an absolutely amazing sprayer that feels more like a shower rather than an actual perfume sprayer. And at the current time, I think this is one of the two very best clones of Xerjoff's Naxos. I'm going to talk about all the Naxos clones that I own in a future episode of a Fragrance Battle, so don't ask me about my favorite clone. I'm just going to tell you that Muharib from Maison Asrar is one of the very, very best clones of Naxos that you can get. The next one comes from the brand of Nusuk and also smells like Naxos. This one is called Ateeq, but it's a little bit different compared to Muharib because this feels sweeter, more honeyed, sweeter. This feels more floral than Naxos itself. I think this has a jasmine note, which is very noticeable. The tobacco note is a little bit different compared to Naxos. This lacks a bit of the aromatic nature of Naxos once again, but unlike Muharib, this feels more unisex or maybe even like a more feminine take on Naxos. Don't think of this one like smelling feminine, it's just that from out of all clones of Naxos that I own, this is probably the most wearable one by girls in my opinion. So again, tobacco, lavender, vanillic sweetness, honey sweetness, a bit of spices, but with a more emphasis on the honey note than anything else. This carries very decent quality. It has a pressurized sprayer once again. The performance is very solid, just like Muharib. The quality is not like absolutely superb, but this costs half the price of Muharib. So if you're looking for a more inexpensive clone of Naxos or something with a bit of a floral touch or slightly more feminine smelling than some of the other clones of Naxos, Ateeq is a great option. The next two that I'm going to show you both come from the brand of Riiffs, and they're called Seasons Rise and Seasons Drift. I talked about these scents early on in this week in their own dedicated reviews. Both of them are clones, but they're cloning two very different fragrances. In the case of the blue one, that's called Drift, this one smells a lot like the Bleu de Chanel lineup from Chanel. People say that this is close to Bleu de Chanel Exclusive, an original scent that I'm yet to try, but definitely this reminds me of Bleu de Chanel scents. This one though feeling slightly greener, a little bit more spicy than the Bleu de Chanel scents that I've currently tried. This has a bit of an Oriental touch, feels in a way kind of balsamic and green. Has an interesting effect on my skin. Initially this feels very vegetal in a way, very green and vegetal, but the more it dries down, the closer it gets to Bleu de Chanel scents. On the dry down you'll get that you know, bluish shower jelly vibe that you get out of all Bleu de Chanel scents. Overall this is a very interesting take on the Bleu de Chanel scent profile. Both of them have very nice pressurized sprayers, both of them offer decent quality and were very inexpensive when I bought them. We're talking around about $25 as a price tag. At that price point, great deals in my opinion. The other one, the orange one, that's called Rise, Seasons Rise. This one smells a lot like Stronger With You Parfum, but with a bit of Stronger With You Intensely, and maybe even a hint of something like YSL Myself thrown in for good measure, because this has the sweetness of the Stronger With You line, the ambery, the vanillic sweetness, maybe a hint of some chestnut, some leather, which is not super strong, but this also has quite a bit of white florals, making it maybe a little bit more diffusive, a little bit more airy and floral than the original Stronger With You Parfum, but it's a good scent. Both of them have, I would say, above average performance, but at the moment nothing more than that. Still though, both of them are again very inexpensive, and if you like their respective original scents that both of them have been inspired by, Stronger With You Parfum or Bleu de Chanel Exclusive, I think at the price point of around about $25, both of them are no-brainers. The next two that I'm going to show you come from the brand of French Avenue. The first one is part of the Aromatics lineup. that are co-created by French Avenue and Nip. This one is called Magnetic. Now, why I'm including this as in a cologne list video? Because I find this one to smell like a hybrid cologne between two original scents. On one hand, we're talking about the Reflection Man from the brand of Amouage, and then on the other hand, we're talking about YSL Myself. So this has the clean vibe, the clean powdery floral vibe of a Reflection Man, but with added sort of white florals and sweetness on top of it, orange blossom and all that stuff. So I find this one smelling similar to you know, to YSL Myself and Reflection Man, and if I have to guess, I would say that both those two original fragrances actually served as an inspiration for Magnetic. The end result is a very nice, masculine and modern smelling scent. In a way, you can think of this like a Reflection Man done in 2025 as a scent profile, made more modern, made more youthful in a way. Nice quality, pretty versatile as a scent, decent performance. I really like the bottle design and all that stuff. So Magnetic, I think, was a good addition to the aromatics lineup. The next one from French Avenue is another one of those very hyped up fragrances lately from French Avenue. It's called Amber Empire. This one smells a lot like, or is supposedly smelling a lot like blonde amber. So this is very sweet, very ambery as the name would suggest, but it's also boozy, it's spicy and has this warmth and depth that makes it a very cozy feeling scent for cold weather. This is a great fragrance if you want to wear something nice, cozy and with a bit of a mature vibe in the colder months of the year. Very nice quality. Performance, I would say, is good, not as good as I expected it, but still pretty good performance. My guess is that with time this will only get better. It's a little bit more expensive at the moment, but it's a new release, so if you want to get it for a more fair price, probably should have to wait a little bit. But if you like ambery based scents with some booziness and all that great stuff, Amber Empire from French Avenue actually smells very nice. And I'm going to finish off the video with a scent from Khadlaj and a scent from Arabiyat Prestige. The one from Khadlaj is called Zayaan Gold, looks like this, and this is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir Absolu, and smells great. Smells very close to the original fragrance, with good quality, pressurized sprayer and very affordable price tag. So you're getting the Le Male Elixir scent profile, but softer basically. This has more fruits than the original scent, feels a little bit more fruity, slightly softer and feels more powdery than Le Male Elixir Absolu. It's less tobacco than Le Male Elixir, but it smells very modern and very sexy. The quality of this one is good. I think it was a little bit overhyped when it was initially released. The scent profile is great. The only problem that I have with this one has to do with the performance. Not so much with total longevity, because this lasts for a good amount of time, but it sits a little bit closer to skin and it's not as good as good of a projecting fragrance as the original ones from Jean-Paul Gaultier. But it's nice, and especially if you can find it for a fair price. You know, I think it's a good scent for cold weather. And the last one that I'm going to show you in today's video from Arabiyat Prestige, this one is called Ramad Oriental, another one of those very hyped up fragrances in the past few months. This one for a good reason. This one smells a lot like Outlands from the brand of Amouage. This is a very oriental fragrance, as the name would suggest. It's very spicy, it's very warm, it's quite sweet, has some smokiness, a bit of leather. It's quite a complex fragrance that smells very mature and, in my opinion, smells absolutely fantastic. And this is one of those scents that I think are signature scent worthy for the cold weather. I just can't imagine wearing this one in warm weather, but apart from that sort of an limit on the versatility side, I think this is an absolute banger of a fragrance from Arabiyat Prestige. Replicates the original scent pretty good, I would say, especially considering that this costs, I don't know, like less than a tenth of the price of the original. If you like warm, spicy, Middle Eastern feeling scents with some sweetness, some smokiness, that feel complex, that feel mature, that you can dress up, Ramad Oriental is just an awesome choice in my opinion, and that's why I've included it in today's video. So guys, in today's video I showed you 10 more new clone fragrances from the Middle Eastern brands. I hope that you found today's video interesting. If you did, give it a like. And I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye-bye.